Welcome to the Tech Show. I'm Sonia Gavankar. This week we're going back to school. We're looking at all the things teachers are doing to do the best they can in this unique situation. And we have the best way to set up your home office as a college professor. All that and more coming up on the Tech Show. Now it's time for the latest. So because 2020 has just been so uneventful, Gundam Factory Yokohama has completed a 60-foot robot, and it's now taking its first steps. No, you're not watching Pacific Rim or an insane anime show. It is designed after a popular Gundam robot from multiple TV series and manga. This is by far the largest robot ever created, and it looks just as awesome as we imagined. Gundam Factory Yokohama has been working on this robot since January with the aim of providing the spectacle of a 60-foot, 25-ton walking robot. This video appears to be a preliminary test with no weight put on the legs. But whilst it may not be ready to fight supervillains just yet, it looks well on its way to full independent walking. Just look out for murder hornets. In other possibly horrible ideas from Japan news, researchers aboard a drill ship collected sediment samples from the bottom of the ocean 10 years ago. The samples came from 328 feet below the 20,000-foot deep bottom of the South Pacific Gyre. That's a region of the Pacific Ocean with very few nutrients and little oxygen available for life to survive on. And the researchers were looking for data on how microbes get along in such a remote part of the world. The samples did yield some microbes older than many dinosaurs, and now, in a Japanese lab, researchers have brought the single-celled organisms back to life. Yuki Murano, the scientist at the Japan Agency for Marine Earth Science and Technology, said in a statement, "Our main question was whether life could exist in such a nutrient-limited environment or if this was all lifeless zone. And we wanted to know how long the microbes could sustain their life in a near absence of food. The microbes had ceased all noticeable activity, but when offered nutrients and other necessities of life, they became active again. But why though? I bet they're even feeding them after midnight." When the pandemic hit this spring, a lot of teachers turned to Minecraft during their mad scramble for tools that could make remote learning work. Earlier this year, Microsoft added an education section to the Minecraft marketplace, and since March, 63 million pieces of content have been downloaded. While Minecraft Education Edition isn't new, the digital nature makes it an almost ideal tool for this strange time. It allows for multiplayer activities, is available on a large range of devices, and perhaps the most important part is, it is something kids already enjoy doing. We already had a lot of features in the game, so we were well suited from the beginning, says Deidre Kornstrom, GM of the Minecraft Atlas division, which focuses on broader initiatives like education. The educational offshoot of Minecraft officially launched in 2016, though the game was used in schools for years prior to that, thanks to grassroots efforts from the various teachers dating back to nearly a decade. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Over 70 years of experience in heart and aviation, the members of the Association of Flight Attendants know the realities of the aircraft cabin better than anyone. We don't just serve drinks, we save lives. We don't just negotiate contracts, we move major policy issues like the smoking ban, no knives on planes, clean water, and safe food on board. The air we breathe matters, and we stop the spraying of poisonous pesticides. The Association of Flight Attendants.
On a rise during the pandemic, with criminals targeting unemployment insurance benefits and stealing them from innocent consumers. Joining us today to discuss the increase in fraudulent purchases related to unemployment insurance fraud and how to identify warning signs of fraud attempts is Tia Laurie, who leads global fraud and breach investigations at Visa. Welcome, Tia.
Fraudsters initially started by selling fake COVID cures. masks that never arrive, and other products and services online in an effort to dupe consumers into providing their personal identifiable information. They have now evolved their tactics to apply fraudulently for unemployment insurance benefits. Visa is working directly with the Department of Labor and the National Association of State Workforce Agencies in an effort to identify risk management strategies, tools, and various capabilities that can help deter unemployment insurance fraud. Our payment fraud disruption team, along with our risk operations center, can identify anomalous transactions in what we suspect to be fraud perpetrated through ill-gotten means of unemployment insurance. We can then provide that information directly to our financial institutions to help protect consumers against unauthorized transactions and fraud schemes. There are a number of red flags. The first is receiving unemployment insurance benefits that you didn't apply for. That is indicative that your personal identifiable information was used to apply for benefits. Another is fraudsters use tactics such as promising expedited insurance claims. This is not true. The reason for this is they want your personal identifiable information so that they can impersonate you and apply for these benefits. You also want to ensure that as you're online, that you're not clicking on links that are potentially dangerous. You want to visit reputable websites, and you want to protect your online digital presence by ensuring that you're visiting reputable websites, and also that you are only responding to known entities, people that you normally talk to, and not unsolicited emails, communications, or text messages. It's important to visit visa.com/blog for additional tips on how to avoid becoming a victim to unemployment insurance benefits, and also phishing tips that can help you, again, protect your online digital presence.
Thanks, Tia.
We've got more of the Tech Show coming up in 60 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We wanted to show you a little of what our teachers are preparing and building and learning. So here are tips they're sharing about successfully teaching online.
Hello there.
Let's do it.
Okay, it's on. It's recorded. Wait, can you see my... Okay.
Make sure your video and audio are off by default when you enter a meeting, just in case you're not prepared for that meeting. And then you can turn it on as soon as you join.
Stick with websites and programs that your students are already familiar with. One example of this is Google Classroom. I have all of my students added into my Google Classroom, so this is one way I could administer online instruction.
What also is really helpful is to find a space that you have just a desk, just out what you need. And so not only is it quiet in an audible sense, but it creates a quiet sense for you when you're working so that you can stay focused on your students and on recording, which sometimes gives us some anxiety and stress. So quiet space, quiet mind.
4. Enable waiting room. To avoid unwanted people joining your meeting, make sure that you have a waiting room. That way you only accept people that you want to. 5. Lock meeting. Another safety measure is that you can lock the meeting once you have all the students.
One way you could organize all of your instruction within Google Classroom is actually to create a topic for each day of the week and then list the assignments for that day under that topic. That way it shows up in a concise manner.
So as you can see right now, in my home office, I created this awesome shelf from IKEA, extremely inexpensive, and I have all of the things I need. So if I need to reach over and grab something from my class or a book, a textbook, I've got them accessible right here if it's a live class and I need to grab something really quickly. But you'll notice that visually it's really simple, it's really clean. I don't have a lot of things that distract the student. A lot of black boxes hide everything, and you can create this with almost anything that you have already right now at your house. So really simple background. If you want to use a blank wall or a curtain, anything that you have that's going to simplify your background, or also something that could just make it more interesting to your students. But remember, keep it simple and keep it minimal.
You may also want to consider posting a checklist with all of the items you expect students to complete that day. That way they can help stay on track and make sure they get everything done.
Click on share and then click on Share Computer Sound and optimize screen for a video clip. That way, any video that you share via Zoom will sound perfectly on your student's computer. Recording, convert it. Convert it.
For example, many folks we see teaching classes, we see them pop up and literally it looks like this. They're looking up at an angle, they're looking up into, it's just not the most flattering. And keep in mind, the students are looking at you across the camera and they're getting the same up angle for who knows how long that you're talking to them or whatever you're recording. So here are my tips and tricks for you. The first thing is the angle of your actual camera. Most of us are using our laptop and we're using, so if you're using a desktop version, it should be fine. But if you're using a laptop, you want the camera angle to be flat. So keep this side of your computer as straight up and 90 degrees that you can. Then make adjustments wherever you are. For example, one of my favorite things is taking your chair and lowering it all the way down to the bottom angle. Already right now, I can sit straight up so my back isn't hurting all day after teaching for 8 hours online. And also the students are now getting a more level angle, my face to the camera.
10. Press spacebar to talk. Just go to audio settings and then click on press and hold space key to temporarily unmute yourself. And now every time you press the spacebar, you can speak. And as soon as you stop doing so, you'll be muted again. Super useful feature as well.
You could post just a 1 to 2 minute video where you're greeting your students and giving them a short synopsis of the directions for that day. Listen, your students are missing you, okay? If you're not in school, I guarantee you, your students are really wishing they could be with you. So posting a short video helps to make things more personal and it helps you feel like you're still connected with them even when you're not there.
I would say record and film as much as you can during the day when the light is the brightest. Or if you're doing Zoom sessions, again, during the day with the brightest light. Another thing you can do is create your space where your desk or the area that you're working at is right in front of the window, so the light is literally coming onto your face. You don't want it behind you. I do have a lamp over here, but you want the light coming onto your face.
So let's all pitch in and help our teachers as much as we can.
Have you been thinking about upgrading to a new car? Well, it's time to check out the all-new 2021 Nissan Rogue.
The all-new 2021 Nissan Rogue is here. The totally redesigned crossover is now being built with care by more than 7,000 hardworking men and women in Tennessee. Engineered to make family life easier, the new Rogue is packed with cutting-edge technology and crafted using the best in manufacturing expertise to ensure a confidence-inspiring driving experience. The all-new Rogue arrives on U.S. dealer lots in the fall. To build your new Rogue, visit nissanusa.com.
No more than ever, access to the internet is essential for student learning. But many are without reliable internet at home. That's why T-Mobile is launching Project 10 Million.
More than 9 million of America's 56 million school-aged kids do not have access to reliable internet at home, widening the gap between millions of students and the opportunities education can offer. That's why T-Mobile is launching its previously announced Project 10 Million.
Project 10 Million is all about what's best for students and educators. And I have no doubt that it's going to have a huge impact on America's future.
T-Mobile will give every participating district free wireless hotspots and 100 gigabytes of data per year for 5 years, plus access to at-cost laptops and tablets, all free to students. And responding to COVID-19 and increased data needs, there are additional low-cost plans available to schools.
Access to the internet means access to opportunity. And we believe every single child deserves access to that opportunity. Now through Project 10 Million, T-Mobile is opening the door to a brighter future for all of them.
For more information, go to T-Mobile.com/P10M.
We'll be back with more of the Tech Show after a quick break. Regardless of the chaos in the rest of the house, the part that the webcam shows should represent professionalism and peace. That is even more true if you are one of those heroes trying to instruct young humans via video conference. So we have Dr. Andrew Ishak here to explain how to get that perfect professorial Zoom environment. So what do we want in our space?
I want my students, when they log on to my class, to feel like they're walking right into a professor's office on campus. it would be really tempting to get a bookshelf and put it in here and put all the books neatly, but that wouldn't look like a professor's office at all. So I want to make it look like I've read, but in a manner that would actually reflect how a professor would do it in their office. Okay, here we go. We got some books. Now, it's not just books, right? You have to have manuscripts as well. You got to throw those. You got to have file folders, free books that you got sent to you in the mail. We got a DVD that I made my students watch, so I had to buy it. We have the most recent electronic item that I've purchased, but not the actual electronic item, just the box, and it needs to kind of sit there in the corner, and you need to keep that basically for the life of the time that you have that product.
Okay, I'm taking mental notes. Keep the box.
And really, you want to make sure, you know, it's not a bookshelf, it's a book stack. Excellent, excellent. We're off to a great start.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, so you can see I have a whiteboard here, and I've written what we're going to do today in class, and that's great, but it'd be better if what I have written on the board looks like the ravings of a lunatic. Now, the best way to erase your whiteboard is toilet paper. You just want to have, like, you couldn't find something to clean it off, you didn't have an actual eraser, but you found a roll of toilet paper in the bathroom. That's what you want to use to wipe off your board. Really important. We're trying to go for authenticity here. Good. Okay, we've got that now, and I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of smear one part right here, so it's as if you wrote it a long time ago, and it's been sitting there for years. Okay, I'm also going to include a note that says I have to call somebody on March 3rd, even though it's August, and a phone number, but it only has 7 digits, and that implies to my students that this has been sitting up here for about 15 years.
So what about when you aren't teaching?
And being in your office is not all work. We got to recognize that as well. So it's important that students know you're a well-rounded person. And the way you do that is by including food that you like. So one way to do that is to include a bunch of random coffee cups, coffee mugs. You want to fill them with just a little bit of coffee, just enough so the students know that you've been in here like separate times at night doing your work. Okay, that's really important. So that's what I've done there. Gone ahead and put some coffee in there. I got another cup here that had an iced coffee, clearly, because it's still like stained with whipped cream and stuff. Great way to go. I've got a bunch of random packets of things that imply that I've eaten many lunches in here. And we're just gonna take those and sprinkle those on the bed. And lastly, you wanna have some sort of non-perishable. That's something you've probably made a whole meal out of, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. So I have some Planters peanuts, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that right there. It's always good to think about having something to hydrate. So here what I have is some sparkling water. It's room temperature. It's not a brand that most people enjoy, and that's perfect. I got it from Grocery Outlet, and we're gonna go ahead and put that in the corner.
Any finishing touches?
All right, so we're looking good, but we got a problem over here in the corner. Let's talk about what's on the windowsill. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that picture of my family. And this picture is just not gonna work. And the reason is it was taken 6 years ago. That's way too recent for a picture that's gonna be in a professor's office. What you need is a picture that was taken before you started this job. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace this picture of my complete family with just a picture of my daughter that I probably put up in my office like right when I got the job. So that's pretty good. And this is actually gonna work perfectly because when students see this, they're gonna say, oh my gosh, you have a daughter. And then you have to explain that you also have a son, but you just haven't updated your office in 9 years. All right, we're looking better, we're looking better. Wait a second, how is a student going to know that I've graduated from a university that gave me a terminal degree? They're not gonna know unless I put my diploma up. And what I mean by put my diploma up is I mean just take my diploma and lean it up against the ground, lean it up against the wall like that, perfect. Okay, we're looking pretty good. I was gonna put this plant up, but it actually is alive, so I'm not gonna do that. Okay, we're looking better. You wanna have that, that one thing that's kind of embarrassing. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this Lotrimin foot cream up on the shelf. Lastly, I'm gonna go ahead and put this chair back, but the chair's not done yet. I'm gonna go ahead and take my academic regalia, which I wear once a year to graduation, and I'm gonna take that, and I'm just gonna drape it. I'm just gonna drape it right over the chair and leave it there where it sits literally 364 days out of the year, and then there's the one day I actually wear it. So I think we're looking good. I think we're looking pretty good. Oh, look at what I'm wearing. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I mean, wow, perfect, perfect. I've put on a button-up shirt. I've got a corduroy jacket with elbow patches, and I'm wearing a neck gaiter like an ascot, which I thought was a good touch.
Thank you, Doctor. We'll be back with Take My Money right after this on The Tech Show. Now it's time for Take My Money. Ever want to turn your bed into a hovercraft? Check this out. If this was just for making beds, I might not be so impressed, but it seems like it might bring some new life to an old mattress. Okay, Uplift, go ahead and take my money. Very slowly. There we go. Thanks for joining us this week. Follow us at The Tech Show TV and join the conversation. Check you later.